Are you headed to Italy and wondering how to pack so that you have just what you need but don't have to haul around a lot of extra stuff you don't end up wearing? In this video, I'll show you how I pack for a 3-week late spring trip to Italy using just a carry-on. Hi, I'm Anne with Our Big Italian Adventure. After going back and forth to Italy many times over the past few years, I've landed on what I like to call my Goldilocks method of packing, where I take not too much, not too little, but just the right amount of clothes to feel comfortable and look polished and put together during my 3-week travel. So let's start with the most obvious question. Why am I so dead set on traveling with just a carry-on? Well, for one thing, it's extremely liberating for about 5 reasons, actually. First, you don't have to worry about the airline losing your bag, which unfortunately happens more frequently these days than it used to. And you don't have to waste precious vacation time waiting at the baggage carousel for your bag. You can get on with your trip without having to be last in line at the rental car counter or last in line at the train ticket counter. Second, you'll almost certainly be doing a lot of walking and dragging that suitcase along behind you on uneven roads and cobblestones and upstairs and downstairs. And the heavier your bag is, the more uncomfortable that's going to be for you. And third, unless you're staying in one of the big modern hotels, you will likely encounter very tiny elevators, or in some cases no elevators at all, particularly if you're in one of those charming little boutique hotels, or perhaps in an AirBnB in an older building. So you're going to want to be able to carry your bag up the stairs yourself. And for those of you who are staying in Airbnbs, keep in mind that the apartments you rent are often on the upper floors of the building. If they say that the apartment is on the 2nd floor, that actually means it's on the 3rd floor as far as we in the US are concerned, because to them, the ground floor is what to us is the 1st floor. So it's usually going to be a floor higher than you think it is, and more stairs to drag your suitcase up. Fourth, and then there are the trains. Hoisting your bag up onto the train by yourself can be a challenge, as can finding somewhere to stow your bag, particularly if you can't lift it to put it up over the seat that you're sitting in. And 5, if you are renting a car while you're in Italy, keep in mind that not only are the cars smaller in Italy than they are here in the US, but the trunks of the cars are also very small and don't fit a lot of luggage. So now you know why I like to travel light. Now let's talk about what I actually take with me. I start out by consulting the weather forecast for the part of Italy that I'm going to. And since I'm going in May, I'm going to check what the high and low temperatures are for that period of time. Going in a so-called shoulder season can be a bit of a challenge because the weather can vary considerably, and it can go from being quite hot in the daytime to quite cool at night. So you have to pack accordingly. So after consulting the weather forecast, I see that I need to feel comfortable in weather ranging from the high 50s at night to the mid 80s in the daytime. And also, there's always a possibility of rain, so I have to take that into account as well. So the first tip I'll give is to dress in layers so that you can adjust to the change in temperatures throughout the day. So for example, I'll take a few tops with short sleeves as well as a couple with long sleeves, and a sweater or two and a light jacket. And that way I'll be prepared for any temperatures that I encounter. So when you're packing in a carry-on, here's the biggest space saver that I can recommend. And that is to create a little capsule wardrobe in a limited color palette where all the pieces, all the bottoms and all the tops all mix and match and go together. That creates maximum flexibility and allows you to create a lot of different outfits out of just a few pieces. So a lot of people choose black as their base color, which makes a lot of sense because it doesn't show the dirt and it tends to go with pretty much everything else. Unfortunately, I look horrendous in black. So for this trip, I've chosen clothes mostly in navy blue and olive green as my base colors. And then I have tops that will go with both of those bottoms, and I can create a lot of outfits that all go together. Okay, so here's what I'm packing. First of all, we'll start with bottoms. I'm going to pack 1 pair of dark wash jeans. Why dark wash? Well, they can be dressed up or down. So if you put them with a nice blouse, they look great for going out for dinner, for example. And I'm also going to pack a pair of olive jeans. Those are my 2 long pants. Then I've got 2 skirts, a navy blue one and an olive one. Are you sensing a theme here? And then finally for bottoms, I've got a pair of tan or khaki shorts because we're going to be doing some hiking, and I can wear these for hiking and also when I'm at beach towns. For long sleeve tops, I've got a white and navy blue striped top, as well as a chambray button-up shirt. And this is great because I can either layer it over t-shirts if it's a little bit cool outside, or I can wear it as a bathing suit cover-up. I have a short sleeve flower top that I can wear either with the jeans or the blue skirt. And frankly, I can also wear it with the olive pants as well. And I have 5 t-shirts and tank tops to wear mostly during the day, as well as at night. And they all go together. So all of these tops go with all of those bottoms, pretty much. Now, I'm not really a big dress person, but I am taking one very lightweight dress that will work both during the day and in the evening, and it'll be very cool on a very hot day. I'm bringing 2 sweaters, a navy blue sweater and an off-white sweater, and I'm going to wear one of them on the plane because frankly, I'm always cold on the plane. So I only have to pack one of them. As for shoes, I've got a pair of white sneakers, which can go with pretty much anything, including the dress, a pair of sandals, and another pair of comfy flats. I'll also be taking my running shoes because we do plan to do some hiking on this trip, but I will be wearing those on the plane since they're the bulkiest pair of shoes that I own and take up the most room. And a rain jacket, and this one is very waterproof but very lightweight and packs down to almost nothing. And then I have a couple of belts, and that's it. That's pretty much it for the clothes. What else am I packing in my suitcase? Well, I've got my toiletries bag, though I have my liquid toiletries in this baggie in case I have to take them out for security. And I've got a few things of makeup in this small bag. And I'm bringing a European voltage hairdryer. Now, I will say that pretty much any hotel or Airbnb that you stay at will have a hairdryer. But I like to make sure, so just in case, I'm bringing my own since I happen to have one. And I'm bringing one of these little adapters so that I could plug all of my different things into. And it goes into the wall outlet in Italy, and it has 2 places to plug an electrical item from the United States, plus a bunch of ports for iPads, iPhones, and all the rest. And finally, I've just got, this is actually a little shopping bag that folds up into nothing, and I can use it when we go to the grocery store or if we go shopping for anything else. And that's it for what I'm taking in my suitcase. Okay, a few other travel tips that will help you minimize what you have to pack. First off, even though you've checked the weather to lay out your wardrobe, I suggest you check the weather again right before you leave because especially at this time of year, the weather can really surprise you. It can swing dramatically, so you just want to make sure you're not taking the wrong stuff. Next, and I've mentioned this before, but I suggest you wear your bulkiest items on the plane. For example, I'm taking my I'm going to wear my running shoes on the plane, as well as a pair of lounge pants and a shirt and a sweater and a light jacket. So I'll be warm and I won't have to put all that stuff in my suitcase. Now, another tip is, even if you plan on staying mainly in hotels, I'd recommend that you actually book an Airbnb for a couple of days somewhere in the middle of your trip. And the reason for that is to do your laundry. Most Airbnbs, though you should check this in the listing before you book it, but most Airbnbs will have a washing machine. Now, they won't all have a dryer, so you should check that too. And on that subject, I would make sure that you're staying in the Airbnb at least a couple of days so that if you do wash your clothes and you can't use a dryer and you have to hang them up, they will dry and you won't have to drag around damp clothes. My next tip is Don't bother with fancy clothes. You will not need them unless you're going to a wedding or some other event that requires you to get all dressed up. You really just don't need fancy clothes at all. And for sure, don't bring any shoes with heels on them because you will regret that. The roads are just too uneven. So let's talk about dressing to fit in with the Italians. You've probably read that the Italians tend to be more stylish, more put together, and more dressed up than we Americans typically are. And that's true. And you will probably read that Italians don't wear leggings and athleisure except at the gym, and that they don't wear flip-flops except at the beach. And all of that is true. However, you can follow their lead if you want to try and fit in, but honestly, no one is ever going to mistake you for an Italian, so you might as well wear what you want and be comfortable. Honestly, nobody cares. And by the way, Italians wear sneakers and jeans everywhere, and you can too. Bottom line, your goal should be to dress like the real you, not the fantasy you, because if you bring along a lot of clothes that you don't normally wear, the result is you're going to feel a little self-conscious and you're not going to enjoy your trip the way you should. The only caveat to the comfort rule is that you should be respectful of cultural traditions. And in particular, I'm talking about churches. You really should not go into a church with your shoulders, your midriff, or your thighs exposed. So no tank tops, no super crop tops, no mini skirts. So I've got all my clothes laid out. Now let's see if they fit into my carry-on. I always use packing cubes to pack. It keeps all my clothes organized and I don't end up having to like rip my whole suitcase apart to find a pair of pants or to find a blouse because I know just where they are. So I use a large packing cube for my tops. All my tops go in here, and another large one for my bottoms, plus my pajamas and other stuff, and they all go in the other one. And then I put all my underwear in a smaller packing cube. Now, not everybody likes packing cubes, so if that's not your jam, don't do it, but it really works well for me. So first I'm going to pack all my tops in this packing cube. Now I'm going to put my bottoms, my bathing suit, and my pajamas in the other one. Now let's see if they fit into my carry-on. Voila, all done and ready to go. So everything else that I plan to take, I'll be putting in my backpack, which I use as my carry-on, and I put it under the seat in front of me. And that will have all my electronics, my water, my snacks, and a small purse. If you want to see what I pack in my carry-on bag, you can watch this video.